What's up guys, and welcome back to my Bootstrap 5 crash course lesson number 8. And in today's video I'm going to be going over Jumbotrons and alerts. So this is what we're going to be learning right here. These are going to be different types of alerts that we can create. And if I go back here, paste this code, these are going to be different types of Jumbotrons that we could also create. So if you're interested in learning how to do all of this, then watch this lesson and I hope you enjoy it. And if you're new here, then make sure to check out my other lessons on Bootstrap so you won't be behind, and subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any new videos. And now that we're done with that, let's get right into the video. So what I'm going to do is show you this website, which is going to be on Bootstrap 5 Jumbotron on w3schools.com, and I'm going to leave a link to this website in the description below if you want to check it out. And the reason I'm showing you this is because there's no classes for Jumbotrons anymore because they're no longer supported in Bootstrap 5. But what we could do is create divs with multiple Bootstrap classes like these to create a Jumbotron. And the reason that we would create one is for big announcements or anything else. So now that we know what a Jumbotron is, let's create a div. We're going to add multiple classes. So the first one is going to be padding 5. We could do margin 4, background primary, and then we're going to set the text to white. And then we have to add a rounded class, which is going to round the edges or the corners of this div. Let's create or add some content so we could actually see it. So I'm going to create an H1. We could write some stuff here. So let's just write Bootstrap 5 Jumbotron. And then I'm going to create a paragraph under it. Just going to write lorem. There we go. So let's take a look at what it looks like. There we go. So we can see that it's really big. It's really attention grabbing. And let's actually see what happens when I remove the rounded class. So this is what it looks like with that class. And then when I delete it, we can see that this is what it looks like without it. So if you like the rounded edges, you could keep that class. But if you don't, then you can remove it. And let's actually create a button here. So we can write button. We're going to add a class of btn and then btn dark or anything else. We have to add some text here, so we could write click me. There we go. And there's obviously a lot of different colors that we could do, so we can change the background color here to success. There we go. That's another way in which we could do it. We can add another different color, so we could try danger. So this would be for something like an air maybe. And maybe we would delete the text white here, so the text would be black. There we go. And maybe we would change the button here to something else. So secondary maybe it would work too. Nope. Maybe a warning. I don't know. Nope. Let's just change it back to dark. Yeah, there we go. So these are going to be 3 different examples of 3 different Jumbotrons that we can create. They're the same thing, but just different colors or styles. And if you really want to, you can add more content here. You could customize it a bit more. So if you wanted to, you could do something like maybe add an H2, right? I don't know. Let's just do lorem 6 for now. And then under the button, or let's say there was a form or something like that, what we could do is create an input with a class of form control. There we go. So now we have an input here. Maybe you want to add some margin bottom. Let's do 2. But this is going to be the basics of Jumbotrons. And before we move on to alerts, let's take a look at how responsive they are. So a big part of it would be the margin. Let's change the margin on the second element to 5. Or let's actually set this to 5 and then this one to 3. And take a look now. So this element is going to have a margin of 5, and when we change it, or when we change the dimensions, we could see that it doesn't change, and so on with these. So the more margin you have, the more space you're going to have between the content and the body or other elements, even when you change the dimensions or use a different device. So always keep that in mind. Now let's go back here, delete all of it, and go over alerts. And to create an alert, we also have to create a div with a class of alert, pretty obvious. And then to style it, just like any other element, let's say a button, all we would do is write btn, and if we wanted it to be a green button, we would write something like success. But this is an alert, so we would change this to alert. And let's actually change this to primary. There we go. And to see it, let's add some content. So let's just write hello there to make sure that it works. So there we go. We can see that it does work. But what we could do is go to the body here, and then let's add a class, which is going to be a padding 2. Go back here. There we go. So we could see it a lot better and it looks a lot nicer. But now let's actually use this in a real example or scenario. So let's say they had a website and then the user changed something. You would create an alert, which would tell them that the changes have been saved or something like that. So it would usually be green. And what we could do is create a strong tag, and then we could write something like saved. After it, we would write something like changes successfully changed. And let's just write something like this. So it would be a bit longer. And so this would be what the user gets after he saved something or anything like that. Let's actually go to the Bootstrap website. We could write alerts. Take a look here. So there's a lot of different alerts that we could use. So let's start with the primary and take a look at them. So primary, we could delete the text. Let's just copy it, paste it here, do this, and then change this to, let's see, we have secondary. So secondary, and then this would be secondary, and then we have the success under, which is what we just did. So we would write success, same thing here, copy this, paste it under. We have danger, so this would be for an error. So if the user got an error, you would create an alert like this. Then we have warning, so this would be warning. We have info, so let's do that one. Info, copy this, paste it here, and then we have light and dark, so let's write light, dark, and then paste it here. And so this is what they're going to look like. So the user would get this one if they had an error, this one if they changed something, and so on. But if we actually go here, we can see that they're a lot darker than here. That's because the theme here is going to be dark. So if we actually inspect the Bootstrap page, we can see that there's this attribute which is going to be set to dark. And if we do the same things, so we go to the HTML, paste this here, we can see that the page now is going to be dark. So it's going to be dark theme. And I'm going to make a separate video on this later, but I just showed you this in case you were wondering why they're darker there. So if we actually set this to light, we can see that the colors are going to be the same. Let's change this back to dark. And if we actually scroll down, we can see that we could create a button, which is going to be creating these alerts, and we could also close them. So let's try to do that. So let's just copy all of it, go back here, and then let's paste it at the very top. When we go back here, it doesn't work because we have some JavaScript here that we have to copy. So let's do that. Create a script at the very bottom, paste it. And now when we click it, we can see that it works. But then when we click the button here, it doesn't close. That's because if we go here, then we actually have to copy paste this script right here. So let's do that. Go back here and then paste it under the script. And this is going to be the Bootstrap JavaScript, which is going to be working with the Bootstrap CSS. So now if we go back here, click this and then click that, we can see that it works. And so if you scroll down here, we can see that we could add some icons too, and there's a lot of different stuff under it, which I'm not going to go over this video because I don't want it to be too long. So if you want to check it out, then I'm also going to leave a link to this page right here in the description below. So check it out if you want to. And so yeah, I'm going to end it here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. If you did, then leave a like, sub to the channel for more content like this. Leave a comment down below if you have any video requests, and see you next video.